More of this refi stuff we keep talking about. You're listening to the right episode of Loan Officer Leadership Podcast. I'm your host, Steve Kyles. We are powered by the mortgage marketing animals. And one of the things I want to do is just continue the story about the refis. So, Sarah, we have been on a journey. And if you're just tuning in, it's your first episode, or you haven't caught the last three, make sure you go back and just flag them for a follow-up. Because one of the things I wanted to do is talk about a strategy right now that can put loans in your pipeline right now. And they're really some of the easiest calls you can make. We have something we call the DSP, the Daily Success Plan. And on Mondays, we target our agent partners. Tuesdays, Just Ask Tuesday follow-ups. Wednesdays are a exclamation point. It's a beautiful day, lovely day, like Mr. Rogers in the neighborhood. And so I love this day because these are the easiest calls in the world. Step 4 is going to be your pre-approved and looking. So here's what we've been doing, doubling down on 2 of the keys to the daily success plan. So let me just kind of recap. First off, make sure that you keep doing the work. Don't stop one thing to start another. You got to keep the wheel spinning. And that is our agent partner. So on Mondays, we call it Thor's Hammer. Start with the agents that are actively referring us, the qualified focus 40. Then we're doing our pre-coffee calls, our post-coffee calls, and then we're going after agents that may be on the peripheral we've worked with, or maybe we don't know and have not worked with, but agents are a huge part of our business. And then this other wheel that I want you to be focusing on, and I am so confident we're going to look back in literally 2 or 3, 4 months from now and say, man, I am so glad we kept putting our attention on the past client database and a strategy to really increase your conversion on what you're already doing. So on Wednesdays, we're doing our database calls and just through a series of conversations, realize, man, this is a great way to really help hone in what we're calling an annual mortgage review. In that annual mortgage review, we're going over the client's current mortgage, their homeowner's insurance, property taxes. We're reviewing it. And then with there, seeing if we can help them find savings. We're finding that 40 to 50% of the clients we're meeting with actually have savings today. Like Sarah was just telling me, she talked to somebody and they had almost an overage of like $8,000 in their escrow account because it was new construction. It was construction. They had overdone the escrows. And it's like, man, you can get that money back. So it is a really cool strategy because when you look at it, the purpose of the call is to thank the client. And then the second thing is to offer something of value, which is the annual mortgage review. And the third thing is ask your 3x3. Hey, do you have any other friend, family, coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance? So now that I've brought you back up to speed where we're at, what I'm excited, we're just going to keep talking. I know this last week, so we're in our week 3 of following the strategy and documenting it on the podcast because I think it's going to be a huge help. The numbers were this: week 1, 43 outbound calls, 20 talk tos, 20 appointments set. Of the 2016 kept, 5 did a refi ready consultation, and 3 moved at some level in the pipeline, whether that is a loan that can be locked today or something in the next 2 weeks or something over the next 90 days that we're confident we'll get as a refi. Again, it'll be tested over time, but right now it looks like 20 talk tos, 16 appointments, 3 moved into the pipeline. And here's what's really, really, really cool. You got to realize this. Even from the appointments and the annual mortgage reviews, Sarah was able to extract 2 referrals to us as a team and 2 referrals back to the agent for potential listings or buyings. And then this week, let me tell you the numbers, almost identical again. So it was 32 outbound calls, 23 talk tos, 18 appointments kept. So 5 are being reworked, and you're going to have some of that fall off. 3 moved into refi ready, and 3 are moving into the refi pipeline at some level. So the work is getting us to 3, 2 weeks in a row. We're at 6, and we're just building this refinance pipeline so that when the market hits, man, let's say we'll have 20, 30, 40, 50 in a pipeline that literally you could just start pulling them in, and they're already at some level in the conversation of a refinance. So that's the whole point, is this isn't a short play, although you will get some immediate business. It's a long play. And it's saying over the next 3 to 4 months, can we be in position to get ahead of the servicers, get ahead of the trigger leads, get ahead of all of the conversations that want to come and take your business? And this is a strategy. Here's what's really cool too. Week number 2, again, 2 referrals to us, 1 agent referral. So that's 4 total referrals to us and 3 total to the team in only 2 weeks of doing the annual mortgage reviews, of which you booked a total of 43, and you've had a bunch, 16 plus 18, right? So it's a lot. So awesome.
Yes, I know. It's a lot. It makes me a little it reminds me of why I'm so tired right now.
Yeah. Hey, but so you had 34 appointments kept, and out of it, you put 6 in a pipeline at some level, whether they can qualify today or in the next 90 days, but real meaningful refinance ready consultations.
Yeah.
And I think the cooler thing is you literally have 4, 3, you got 7 leads out of those conversations. And those weren't hard conversations. I mean, you're not trying to be their realtor partner.
Yeah, and I think that
I mean,
that's the challenge. I think that's the challenge that we
yeah.
have in the industry is that sometimes, we think that if it doesn't hurt, that means it's not working, or if it's too
Oh, that's
hard.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's too hard, then, or I'm sorry, too easy, then that also means it's not working. And it's like, well, no, it's about data. Like we have to be data driven. And that's really what the mortgage marketing animals, when I first found you guys, that's what really opened up my eyes because I could see the activities I was doing, but I was so like close to it that I couldn't see the fact that these activities, when I started to track them, you don't manage, you can't manage, but you don't measure. Like when I started to hear those things, started to realize, hold on a second, I could just be doing busy work for the sake of doing busy work because I think, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a grind, and the reality is these calls are a blast. I
Yeah.
mean, my goodness, people see my number and they answer the phone, they text me back. They're like, "What is it that you want to do? When can
Yeah.
I get?" I mean, they're like clamoring to make sure that they can make this appointment work. And so yeah, it's honestly, it has given me so much wind in my sails, but it is something that is very exciting. And I tell everybody who's willing to listen to me about this.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing is I think it's the gift. We're in a contact sport, and I love what you said that we're gonna have to pull that out. If it doesn't hurt, it's not working. I think we sometimes think these everything we do has got to be painful. And look, we're just making contact. And when you call, and the purpose of the call is to thank you, it's hard to get rejected when it's saying thank you. Then the other thing is, hey, we're finding that 40%, 40 to 50% of our clients are actually saving money in their current mortgage after we get done with an annual mortgage review. Would love to invest 30 minutes and see if we can help you find some savings. How about this afternoon at 2 or tomorrow at 2? And it just goes back to you're selling, but you're selling something people want. It's like you got gold bars in your hand. You're saying, hey, I get to tell you thank you. And here's a gold bar. It's really spendable money.
Yeah.
So I love, well, and Sarah, we were talking about it in our all branch sales meeting, our sales meeting we just did a few minutes ago. It goes back to the 2 pillars. You got to double down on your agent relationships, number 1.
Mhm.
And number 2, you got to double down on your past clients because right now this is the opportunity. And with the markets continuing to get more and more favorable, I promise you this, Sarah, that servicer, whoever it is going to call every one of your past clients, and they will get most of them if you don't get ahead of it.
Yeah, of course. And one of the quotes that I love so much from John Maxwell, he's one of my I love reading all his books and everything that he does. And one of the books that he wrote is called The 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. One of the
Mm.
things that he said was in communication, we're not shooting for perfection, we're shooting for connection.
Ooh, that's
Mm,
good.
I know, that's real good. And
That's really good. Come
I
on.
what I love about that though is that's me. I'm
Yeah.
not I will 100% tell you and everybody else I am not perfect. There is nothing that I can do that I could say that was a quality that was I don't feel perfect at
Yeah.
all. Like I
Yeah.
don't feel that way. Everything that I do, it takes a lot for me mentally to get up every day and be like, it's okay. It's all right that you slept through your alarm. We're gonna get through it. Like I
That's
have to like
funny.
rally myself sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know what? We are human, and that's okay. People don't connect with you through they might be impressed with your successes, but they connect with you through your weaknesses. And
Mm.
these are the things that we're learning in this role and in this job is that, I was on Call Stars again today, West Coast Call Stars. And one of the things Glenn mentioned on the call was, it's really special the things that people tell us. He was making his calls today, and one of the agents or one of his clients said, "You know what? You are the first person I'm about to tell that my fiance is pregnant. Like, we need to buy."
Wow. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled that you would
Yeah.
like, that's awesome and honored." But again, these are the things that I think we get confused by in our role as mortgage professionals, as financial professionals. Look, we're providing a service that they need, whether they use you or somebody down the street. If you can make this a connection, if you can genuinely invest, and that's what I love so much about the AMR, is that we're genuinely connecting with them and their family and the things that matter the most to them.
Mm.
And that's why they have referrals for us. That's why they're going to remember us, because we just saved them $8,000 this week. We just saved them, heartache of figuring out down the road that they accidentally paid their property taxes twice. Like, these
Hey,
are
and you know what? It's so funny how many of the people you're helping save money right now would actually go back and reevaluate. Life is so busy. Most people don't even stop, until it's too late. They've already spent the money. It's no longer there. Like you're doing such a big service.
It is. And Steve, that should give all of us so much more energy and wind beneath our wings to keep doing this. Keep calling, keep
Yeah.
reaching out. Like, I had a conversation with one of my top agents today who I told her, I said, "I know you do great business, and I have no doubt about that. I just want to tell you something that we're doing for our clients.
Mm.
Talk to your admin, talk to your buyer's rep, and see if this is something that they potentially could do."
Yeah.
So that's the next layer, I think, along life's journey, along this journey, is that we'll be able to teach classes to our agents on how to do their annual, whatever they want to call it, annual home
Mhm.
buyers or homeowner review,
Yeah.
and have those conversations with them. But man, it excites them too to hear that
Yeah.
we're doing this.
Hey, so there's two things I want to talk about. How do you get over like 2 weeks ago, you and I we were talking. So we did our morning team meeting in our huddle, and we're going. How do you get past the idea to action? Somebody's listening today. They said, "Man, this is the second or third episode I've heard Steve talk about it. I want to do it." How did you just take action? Like what? Like how'd you get past the fear? What do I say? It may not be pretty. What you you literally picked up the phone and just started calling. How did it go? How did you do it?
So I think the thing that has always kept me, that this is the one thing that has kept me in the business as long as I've been doing it. So I got
Yeah.
in 2002.
Yeah.
And I didn't start originating until 2010. And the one reason what made me move over to origination was because I'm bilingual. And because I remembered what the experience was like for my family when we first bought a house in Texas, when we moved here in 99. And I remember how hard it was and
Yeah.
how awful it was. The man just totally took advantage of my parents and their financial situation. And so for me, it was not only was it to help the Hispanic community, but also to help provide and promote education for low to moderate income families. And so I'm very passionate about home ownership in general. I'm a part of the Fort Worth Mortgage Bankers Association. I'm very plugged into these types of educational systems within the mortgage
Yeah.
industry, because I find that it is a disservice to homeowners in the United States that they're so much like promoted as far as
Yeah.
like buy, here, all these things that just don't educate. They don't educate the home buyer on what they're getting into. So this is a long way to answer your question, but that's what has always kept me in the
Mm.
business, is knowing what my why was.
Mm.
My why has been to help more home buyers become educated home buyers.
Mm.
This fulfills that. What I'm doing today, man, I'll tell you what, and you and I will talk about this in a minute, but I was running myself ragged last week trying to make
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
calls. And
Well,
but it propelled me,
mhm.
because it was bigger than anything to me because it fulfilled my mission. It fulfilled what I was wanting to do, and it's to help people. How
Hmm.
can I better serve the community? It's also, yes, it's helping me and my family. But at the end of the day, I felt that energy behind the why.
Hmm. So number one, it's the why. Then you don't, hey, like, so you just, and this is why we got to keep talking about it, because you and I didn't have the plan really mapped out. We just, here's the idea, here's the strategy, here's some basic talking points, run. And then as you started doing it, I mean, my gosh, now you've had 23 plus 20, 43 talk tos about the annual mortgage review. You've had 34 of them keep in an appointment. You just get better. You're getting better. Every conversation gets better and easier. And part of it is just taking massive action. And so for our listeners, I was on the phone with somebody just a few minutes ago, right before we jumped on this. And I said, what would it take for you to make a call as soon as we hang up? Well, I think I can do it. Awesome. Do it. Like, make the call, see
Yeah.
how it goes, and then commit to making more calls, because it goes back to, you just got to take action. Clarity comes in action, clarity comes in action, clarity comes in action. And we've been laying out a blueprint, which is exactly why I wanted to take a handful of episodes and strategically lay it out. As we're working it out, you're seeing what happens. It never comes fully formed. It comes as you take action. Hey, here's the other thing I want to talk about. So this is week 3. We're seeing great results. And so are, by the way, the other loan officers in our branch and network, as well as other loan officers that have been hearing this, that are texting me saying,
Yeah,
dude,
me
this
too.
is this is a big, big strategy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Last week was a great week. So we've got good purchase business and we're pushing on the refi strategy. So we had 38 consultations last week. You did.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's
On
a lot.
top of the 2 hours of outbound sales, which
Yeah.
is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so we hustled through it. And I want people to hear this, is that you don't change your goal in the middle of pressure. You fulfill the goal and then make an adjustment. So, what I want you to do, if I were talking to you right now on your car or on your phone or wherever you're listening right now, I would say this: how many do you want to commit to this week? I don't care what day of the week it is. Even if it's Thursday, how many are you going to do this week? And then I want you to set a goal for next week, whether it's 5, 10, 15, or 20. And the goal is this: you don't call 1,000 people, you call enough to fill the 5 you committed to. And then what you do is then you have the 5 appointments, and then you learn how to get it a little bit better. And then you look at next week and say, is 5 still the right number? Because what we've realized is we did 20 because it's like, dude, we want to go gangbusters. So you did 20 and then you overachieved last week and did 23. I don't know how you got the extra 3, but you did.
People call me back from the week before.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. So you're rescheduling. So here's what's awesome is this. So we realize at 38 consultations, loan consultations, of which 18 of them were from this. We had 23 booked, 18 kept. We just realized it's too much. And it doesn't mean we can't do it a couple of weeks in a row. But what I want to encourage everybody is this: it's not how much I do one week, it's how much I do consistently over time.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard, I'm all about these quotes today, sorry, but another one, Zig Ziglar said, repetition is the mother of learning and the father of action, which makes it
Mm,
the architect of accomplishment.
mm.
And that's what we're doing. That is what this is. And
It's
I
a
think
repetition game. You're getting
it
better.
is.
You're
It's
throwing up
all
weight in the gym, and every time you go to the gym and do your, barbells or your, bench press, you just get better. You get stronger.
you do, and you start exercising muscles that you know that you have, but you just
Yeah.
haven't been using, you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's the thing. I think that's the again, the thing that you can define what's holding you back.
Yeah.
You can't defeat what you aren't defining. So if you can't define for yourself, hey, what am I doing here that's keeping me from making these calls?
Dude,
What
that's good. Well, hey, my wife is in a parenting mastermind. It says if you can name it, you can tame it, and it's the same
oh,
thing. I mean,
yeah.
it's such a good perspective. Hey, and so let me tell everybody what we did last week, because you and I were talking Thursday morning,
Mhm.
and you were short some of the calls, like you
Yeah.
were short.
Oh, short
And
significantly.
yeah, yeah, like you were short by how many? What would you
Oh, I
guess?
think I had 11 at that
Yeah,
point.
you had 11 and we
And I
had to
had to
get
get,
nine more.
yeah, nine
So
more.
here's where the accountability comes in, and that's what I love about Call Stars, our community. Insert in your best friend who's a loan officer, and you're working this plan together. Doesn't matter, whoever that is for you, because what you can't do is, I really want to challenge you. Don't quit in the middle of a week. And man, I remember challenging you, and you had two options. You could either stop or you could push. And I just said, we can't stop short of 20. We can't. We committed, and we're going to push through this thing. And I'm telling you, you did whatever it took to finish up the week strong and hit the number that you committed to yourself,
Yeah.
because you know ultimately you're committing to your dreams and
Right.
your why.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage, like, if you're listening today, don't stop in the middle of the week. Do whatever it takes. If it's a Friday and you didn't get it done, then you're going to have to work Saturday or Sunday.
I had
Like
six.
in
I had six on Saturday.
Yeah, wow. Well, and that's where I just we this is a year that the gifts will come, but you still have to work for the gift. And
Yeah.
so, man, I just love that, because you need to hear that, like, winners are going to push regardless of whether it's painful or not, because we made a commitment to ourselves, which is even greater than any other thing we could do. We got to fulfill what we've committed to do. So set an amount, do whatever it takes to hit the amount, and you're going to be shocked how easy these calls are. And heck, if you don't know what to say, just listen to the last two episodes. We laid it out. And hey, and I'll tell you this, if you want more help with it and you've got good past clients, go to www.meetupwithsteve.com. I'll give you the yeah, meetupwithsteve.com. That's my personal calendar. It'll show you every 30 minutes I have available. And heck, I'll give you the written step by step that I just put together that you could literally use, and it has the scripts and all of it for you. So, Sarah, we'll do that. That'll be a cool gift,
That's
right?
awesome. Yeah, that's
Okay.
huge.
Yeah, and
And
it's
one,
directly into my calendar. So it's nobody else's calendar. Book in 30 minutes. I'll give you the step by step, and it's how Sarah and I are laying it out. And I think then you'll have no excuse. But even if you don't have that, make the call, figure it out, walk it out. This is the gift of 24.
yeah, one thing to also consider is the fact that this isn't just like don't be narrow-minded or short-sighted to where you're only looking for refinance opportunities. I want to really just encourage and caution you to not think that a call is a failure if they didn't move over to a refi ready call. This truly is a call of service and of truly saying, I'm going to give back. When it is better to give than to receive,
Yeah.
right? And I think that we also need to keep in mind that there are so many facets to what this does. I think, Steve, that might be next episode is for us to lay out all the different people, the different
Oh, yeah.
avenues, the different things that we're touching, because
Hmm.
what we don't realize is how this is a domino effect, everyone.
Hmm.
Like, this isn't just a one and done and we move on. Like, this is truly going to touch so many, like, it's got layers, layers of layers where we can see, I think that we can see as we go down the road how it's paid in like dividends, really,
Hmm.
because we're
Hmm.
going to see the results of, well, you talk to this person and this person talk to that person, and then we're just going to see just again the layers of all the people that we've impacted, because don't think people aren't talking about this to
Yeah.
their friends, family, and
Oh,
coworkers,
yeah. Oh,
because
yeah.
that's how we end the call, right? You have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to do an annual mortgage review, I'm happy to give them a call.
Yeah.
And that's something that's going to be huge when they start hearing people like our group from the MMA, that's going out there. And I fully expect every loan officer that's a part of hearing this, to start doing it. I really do. Like, you have to do it. This is
Yeah.
the easiest thing I've ever done in my career. So it's exciting.
Hey, and well, yeah, there's so many good things that come out of it. The key is taking action, and in taking action, you'll get results. And so our encouragement is, if you feel discouraged, this is a great pillar. Realtors are a pillar, the past clients are a pillar. And then this is one of the strategies that's just, look, you may not be able to do this strategy 6 months from now, 9 months from now. I mean, you could, but I'm telling you right now, it's the opportunity to put deals in your pipeline. Hey, and if you want the written guide, what I'm putting together on it, just meetupwithsteve.com. It'll find 30 minutes available. Jump on the calendar. I'll give it to you. Would love to meet you. And also, wherever you're consuming content, could you give us a review? Would love to hear how this podcast is impacting you in your business, and share it with two people you know right now that this could put loans in the pipeline and help them have an outstanding 2024. Hey, and let me just say one other thing too. It's a volume game, because out of the people you met with 2 weeks in a row, and we'll keep documenting week 3 and 4, only 18% moved into refi ready. So if I meet with 10, I mean, it was actually 1.8. So it's like you may get one, you may get two, right? So it's really a volume game of what you're doing to put people in the pipeline. So just have more contact, more touches, more ask for the business. This is a super simple call. And Sarah and I hope that you see the same success that we're seeing. So any closing thoughts, Sarah?
No, just do it.
Go
Don't think
do it.
about it.
Yes.
Go do it.
That's it. Hey, and remember this, anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Just get started. See ya.